Hey! Welcome to another edition of Faulkner Fixes All. Today we're going to put some fork races in, and we're going to install some bearings, we're going to install the stem and handlebars, and we're going to install the stock Schwinn fork that came with this bike. We got rid of that dangerous Springer, it was just too dangerous. And we will touch on some French stem designs, because I know everybody's excited about the way French people make bicycle parts. There's nothing wrong with them, just some of the ones made in the 50s and 60s, they're just really dangerous. And we're going to touch on that so people know about that too. Okay, so without further ado, let's get you over here to the other bench and I'll show you about some bearing races and Schwinn items that are going to go into here. Okay, put these grips over here and let's go over to the workbench. Okay, so the other day we took this apart because somebody cut this piece too short and it was just a big piece of junk anyway. So remember I was telling you about them grinding this part. Yeah, they ground this Schwinn part down to make it work. It's very unfortunate because they could have just went to a bike shop and bought this super cheap one, which would have done the same thing, you know. But no, they took a really nice Schwinn one like this with the Schwinn script on it and ground the top right off of it. As you can see, that's what that was at one point. It was a really nice Schwinn piece, but no more. It's junk now. They could have just went to a bike shop and bought one, but no, let's ruin stuff. Okay, so yeah, but we got a nice one to go in there. Okay, so there's the top race. I already pounded the bottom race in. We'll do that in a second. Another problem with these Schwinn reproduction springers is they don't come with this bottom race. So you got to find a bottom race that fits on here. And that's Schwinn. Okay. So either have to get a Schwinn one like they did with this and file the inside out, making it no good for Schwinn forks at all ever again, because if you do try to put it on a Schwinn fork, it will be too loose. See, that should be seized on there and pounded on there nice and tight, and it's too loose now because it's been ruined, just like this part. So we'll throw it in the ruin pile. But this is an actual Schwinn race, and it fits on here. We got to pound it on. But if you notice, it doesn't fit on here. It won't pound on that. You can see you really have to pound that. You probably break it. And don't ask me how I know. Anyway, so this is the Schwinn part. I'm going to put it on these 1983 Schwinn forks. And we're going to pound it on there. Give me a sec. See if I can do this with one hand. It should be fun. No. Anyway, you put something over it and gently tap down on it. It's not the preferred way, but it'll work. Okay, we're still doing stuff here. Bear with me. There we go. Probably looks great on camera. Super close up. Okay, so we got that on there. It's on there nice and flush. No gap in there. And, oh, it's a little gap. We'll pound it. Okay, we're good. All right, so we got this ready to go. We're gonna put that to the side. We're gonna put this top race in with a brass hammer, and we're gonna go from there. We got some grease to put in here in a minute. Let's go back over here. Now I got the bottom race in already, and there's grease in it. So we're ready to go there. Now this top race, which is the same, we'll pound it in. But there is a little chip on the chrome here. A little discoloration and loss of chrome plating. See if you can see that. Anyway, we're going to hide that. We're going to put it on top, and we're going to put the chip chrome towards the inside of the frame. You almost have to look directly under the bike to see it. And this part will be all nice and shiny chrome. A little cheating's good. There we go. Got grease on my hand now. That's great. Okay. So we got grease in this bottom one already. We're going to put some nice clean grease in the top here. Bear with me. I'm working fast as I can here, folks. You don't need super gobs of it. You just need a good coating on the inside cup of the race. Put some on here too. And then once you press down, the grease goes to the inside, and take some of that and whip it up to the top, because that's never going to do anything down in the fork crown. Hopefully this might even stay in here if I just put it in there. Okay, Schwinn bearings installed. And we're going to get the fork, we're going to put it in. It's good to put a little grease on these threads too, but from my experience, once you slide it through here and do all that, there's plenty of grease on here. It just happens. Grease happens. And this is the slot I was talking about. See if you can see that. You see the little slot there? There's a little washer that fits on that and makes everything nice when you tighten it. And on the Schwinn Springer reproductions, it's not there. So I don't know about that. I don't agree about that, but okay, so here we go. We got the bearings in, we got the grease, we got the nice Schwinn adjuster that's not modified. And I know this is the right fork. And up we go. And yes, some grease happened on those threads, so we don't have to put tons of grease on there. We can just thread it on there and get happy. But now it kind of took the grease with it, so I might just put a dab on there anyway. It's, you know, having grease on threads it's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, let's go get the washer. Okay, so if you were using a Springer front end, now would be the time to fit it on there and figure it out. But we're not. We're going to put this little washer with a slot. I'm going to put this Schwinn cap on. Hopefully, there might have been something else for this year. It looks a little tight. There might have been something there like a headlight bracket or a shifter. Oh yeah, there was a positron shifter. We're going to have to use another washer. This is a Schwinn 5-speed, so there was a positron shifter on here. So we need to bridge this up. So I think what I'm going to do is use this other big fat washer. And skip the Schwinn one, and just use this one. Now this style I can tighten with a special tool. I can't seem to find right now, but we'll get to it. For now, we'll just put it in so you guys can see what's happening. There's a special tool that catches these notches. And I'll find it later, but for now, we just got to get this in and move on, you know. It's important. My adoring fans want to know what I'm doing at all times, so we got to figure it out. Okay, so it's on there. Feels really good. And now we can put this Schwinn one on. See, there was a shifter here, and since it's not a 5-speed anymore, I'm not putting the shifter on, so we had to take up that difference. Now remember, if you can't thread these on, go backwards until you hear an audible click. I'll do it. See how it clicked? And that way you know it's on there. You've made the threads make a click by going backwards, and it clicks up over the thread and lets you know that's where to start. Okay, we're doing pretty good. I always put a little grease in the fork tube itself, because that way the next person can get out the stem when it's time to do some work on it. And you know what? That next person might be you or might be me. So look out for yourself in the future. Okay. We're just going to put a little tighten on this because I can't find the tool right now to tighten that bottom washer with the notches in it. So we'll just give it a little snug. And let's go get a stem. Okay. Moving quick today. Got it all lined out for you. Okay, so we're going to use a 74 Schwinn varsity stem because I don't have the right cruiser stem. This is a nice Schwinn part. It fits Schwinn forks. This part here is a little exaggerated for drop bars. It looks like somebody pounded on that a little bit, probably with one of those hammers. Always put a little grease on this part and in this bolt. I already greased it up a little bit because you want to save those threads. And so that's a 74 10-speed handlebar stem. And we've got a pair of 1973 cruiser bars, Schwinn. Not bad, the chrome is decent. So we're using a 74 10-speed stem with 73 Schwinn cruiser bars on an 83 cruiser. Okay, so hey, these things happen. Now, remember I was telling you guys about using a brass hammer. Well, I was going to use these bars here, which are not really Schwinn, but are cool looking. But under further examination, somebody used a large hammer. So that's what happens when you use that kind of hammer, or don't heat up the stem with heat, and you just start slamming and hammering stuff. So these bars look great, but they're unsafe now. That will kink and bend, and that will hurt you, and you will fall off the bike. Speaking of dangerous things, this is a French AVA death stem. Look at it closely. It's probably one of the only ones left in the world that isn't laying next to a coffin. Okay, double split on the sides for that wedge to go in there. Really bad design there. Super lightweight, super thin up where the bars clamp. Just thin, and I happen to know that these break very easy, and the casting is very porous. Inside there is hollow. That's super thin. I could probably sell this on eBay, but I don't want anybody to die. Okay, so this is a French AVA stem of death. Okay, it's very light. It's very lightweight. Obviously, I'm going to be using this heavy-duty Schwinn one. Okay, just had to rant there, sorry. Okay, so let's go put the stem in. Hey, if I can save somebody from using one of those parts, that would be good. If you have one of those stems and you think you're Ronnie Racer and you're going to go racing and your bike is super light, I would tell you probably to not use it. Okay, rant over. Moving right along. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfectly set right now. We're just kind of throwing it together to get the bars in and kind of get some content. Okay, so we got that stem in. It feels really good. Yes, this is the wrong stem, but with the cruiser bars, it won't really be that noticeable. That's how it goes. Okay, so we're going to go like this, and we're going to go get the bars and slam them in, or gently slide them in. See how they don't want to go in? Well, we're going to fix that. said, come on now, don't make me look silly. I think I need a thicker screwdriver. Let this bike get the best of me here. Ah, there we go. Okay, good. So we wedged that out, created the clearance to slide that in. They're pretty good. Now, if you were putting some alloy 10-speed bars in or something, this is very important because they're so tight on some of the European bikes. And then you have to wrap them, and there's this little area that's going to be open. It's really easy to scratch the bars very badly, and the bike would look very poor after that. So it's good to spread the stem when you can and get it to open up a little. Okay, we've got this going on. We've got some Schwinn grips. This one's torn a little bit. Hey, this is what we got. Okay. Put the ribs down so your hand will be in the right way when you use it. And here's an interesting fact. They call these cushion grips because there was a little air cushion in here. See if you can see. Yeah. See the little Schwinn cushion? They call those cushion grips. But in the beginning, there was a little aluminum mirror. No one even knows this, actually. More useless facts from John. So, the aluminum mirror on Suburbans and upright bikes, the mirror would slide in there. It was this curved piece of aluminum with a mirror. Anyway, they would go in there. These weren't really designed to be cushion grips. That was designed to hold a little mirror that slid in and curved around. Well, they broke when you looked at them, you know. When the bike fell over, or when you put your hand the wrong way. It was dangerous having a piece of sharp metal sticking out of there. So Schwinn got around that and decided not to even use those anymore. But that's just an interesting little known fact that they call them cushion grips, and even Schwinn later called them cushion grips, but in the very beginning they were for mirrors. And okay, that wraps it up for today. We didn't have an emblem. We can't find an emblem. Well, I have an emblem. I don't have the screws yet. I have to figure out what bike to take them off of. Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, so we did pretty good. You know, there it is. Nice and sweet. Tubular Schwinn 83 fork that came with the bike. Slightly different color. I don't have this metallic paint. I have to get this tool. I have to find my little tool. It's a little tool that has a little finger. And you grab this and tighten it. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. We're going to put the front wheel on, but not right now. That's it for today. And, you know, more stuff, more bike videos coming soon. And remember, it's the only channel that matters.